Hello there, you're watching Rajya Sabha Television. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor with you. Well, a formal announcement on Congress-SP alliance in Uttar Pradesh is likely today, though SP has stated categorically that RLD will not be a part of this tie-up. Well, hectic parleys are on and an action-packed day is expected in the poll-bound Uttar Pradesh today. Well, the details on that and much more from the election-bound states in the next 30 minutes in Verdict 2017, starting with the headlines. SP rules out alliance with the RLD in Uttar Pradesh. Formal pact with Congress likely to be announced today. BJP faces revolt in Uttarakhand. Tickets to Congress rebels trigger protests against the party leadership. Chief Election Commissioner to review poll preparations in Goa today. Naseem Zaidi along with election commissioners on a 3-day visit to the coastal state. Goa Chief Minister Lakshmikant Parsekar speaks exclusively to Rajya Sabha Television, says he's confident of BJP's return to power, attacks Aam Aadmi Party, claims Kejriwal's party won't open account. Well, the Election Commission has sought details from the government over the procedure followed to delay the presentation of the Union Budget in 2012. Well, the centre has to file its response by today. The Election Commission has sought details on the process involved in preparing and presenting the Union Budget. Well, the opposition parties, remember, had approached the Election Commission seeking postponement of the budget till after Assembly elections to 5 states. On 10th of January, the government had replied to the Commission on the opposition's complaint, defending its decision to advance the budget session. Well, the government also rejected the opposition's charge that the budget will influence voters. Now, the centre had also said that the advancing of the budget presentation was necessary as it would ensure that all the budgetary provisions are allocated to the different sectors from 1st of April, the beginning of the new fiscal. A big story from the Uttar Pradesh. Well, the Samajwadi Party is likely to release its list of candidates today. It is also likely to release its manifesto for the upcoming elections in the state. Well, nominations for the second phase of elections will begin today with the notification being announced. Now, 67 constituencies spread over 11 districts in western Uttar Pradesh will go to polls in the second phase to be held on 15th of February. In all likelihood, an alliance between the Samajwadi Party and the Congress is also likely to be announced. Well, this comes amid reports that the RLD has refused to be the part of the alliance with the Samajwadi Party on Uttar Pradesh. Reports say that a faction of the Apna Dal has also shown interest in an alliance with the SP Congress combine.
Uttar Pradesh are racing against time to firm up electoral alliances in the state. With the first phase of elections barely 3 weeks away, the Samajwadi Party and the Congress have announced their agreement could be finalized in a day or two. However, suspense continues on the potential third element in the equation. The RLD, led by Ajit Singh, says it's yet to receive a proposal for an electoral pact.
समाजवादी पार्टी ने कोई बात नहीं की। समाजवादी पार्टी ने करीब 2 महीने पहले शिवपाल यादव जी आए थे, मुलायम सिंह जी ने बात की थी, अभी 1 हफ्ते पहले अखिलेश यादव ने भी बात की, पर उसके बाद कोई गठबंधन की बात नहीं। कहते हैं कि भाई कांग्रेस बात करे, हमसे किसी ने आज तक बात ही नहीं की है।
Samajwadi Party leaders are, however, ruling out an alliance with the RLD. The party's thinking is that it could alienate the Muslim community on account of the Muzaffarnagar issue and its strained relations with the Jat community.
कांग्रेस का साथ बातचीत भी हो चुका, अलायंस केवल कांग्रेस का साथ होगा। देखिए, उत्तर प्रदेश का जो विधानसभा चुनाव 2017 में बहुत महत्वपूर्ण चुनाव है। सारा हिंदुस्तान देख रहा है उत्तर प्रदेश में क्या होगा, और हम लोग का लक्ष्य है केवल 2017 नहीं 2019 में ही है। इसलिए कांग्रेस का साथ हम लोग गठबंधन किया कि 2017 में सत्ता पुनराय अखिलेश जी मुख्यमंत्री बनेंगे।
Both the Samajwadi Party and the Congress are in talks for the seats their candidates will contest. Sources say that while the SP is expected to contest over 300 seats, the Congress is likely to be offered about 85 seats. The party, however, wants the number to be pushed up to 100. The other sticking point is a list of non-negotiable seats. While the SP has a list of 290 such seats, the Congress has 15. Sources say a decision could be announced by Friday. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, my colleague Panchanan Mishra is joining us on the phone line for more on this. Panchanan, now looking at the developments in the Uttar Pradesh in the last 10 hours or so, now they're fairly indicative of the fact that the chances of RLD joining now this alliance seems negligible now. But are both the parties, Congress and the SP, on the same page on that? Because there were earlier reports that the Congress was very keen to get RLD on board.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that Congress always want to make a grand alliance in Uttar Pradesh, like they made in Bihar. But the Akhilesh Yadav was reluctant to include RLD because that's because of the equations of Muslims and Jat, and also RLD was demanding more seats, more than 35 seats for this alliance. So the talks were failed, and RLD finally is not included in this alliance. This alliance is only between now Samajwadi Party and Congress. Samajwadi Party is contesting around 300 and plus seats, and Congress has been offered 103 seats. So but the Samajwadi Party has made it clear to Congress that if they want to include any other small parties, any other faction, they can manage in their 103 seats.
Right.
So the declaration, maybe it's likely that declaration will be after 2 p.m. There will be a joint press conference by Samajwadi Party and Congress in Lucknow, and Raj Bappar is coming to Lucknow, and this may be happened after 2 p.m. So this is the equation here, and now Samajwadi Party and Congress in alliance will go to the poll, and the main contestant is the main rivals. The BSP and BJP are...
All right, Panchanan, there seems to be an audio problem there. Your voice is cracking, but we do understand now that as far as the much-awaited SP-Congress alliance is concerned, as our reporter was telling us, that announcement to that effect will likely take place today after 2 p.m. Of course, that is one big story that we'll keep tracking through the day. Meanwhile, filing of nominations for the Uttarakhand elections will begin today with the issue of notification. Now, the last date for filing of nominations is 27th of January, and the scrutiny will take place on the 30th of this month. Well, polling for the 70 assembly seats in the Hill State will take place in a single phase on 15th of February, and the counting of votes will be held on 11th of March. More news from the Uttarakhand. The BJP in the state is now facing a revolt ever since it announced its list for the upcoming assembly elections in the state. Now, dissatisfied party leaders in all the state assembly seats where Congress rebels were given tickets are now openly protesting against the BJP top brass. Here is a report.
BJP workers on Thursday raised slogans at the party headquarters in Uttarakhand. They are protesting in support of BJP leaders who have been denied tickets by the party. The current resentment is due to the induction of several influential Congress leaders into the party right before the assembly polls.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी के कार्यकर्ताओं ने बहुत लंबे समय से यहाँ पे काम कर रहे हैं, संघर्ष किया है और इस राज्य के हित के बारे में सोचते हैं। ऐसे कार्यकर्ताओं पे पार्टी को पुनर्विचार विचार करना चाहिए। मेरे कहना, हम जैसे लोग, बहुत से लोग हैं जिन्होंने संगठन में बहुत लंबे समय तक 30 वर्ष तक काम कर लिया, मुझसे और भी सीनियर हैं, बहुत अच्छे कार्यकर्ता हैं, ईमानदार कार्यकर्ता हैं, डेडिकेट वर्कर हैं, जो उत्तराखंड के जन सरोकारों से जुड़े हुए हैं।
कि जब जनता के द्वारा जनता का शासन है, जब जनता चाहती है उनको टिकट चाहिए, तो उनको टिकट क्यों नहीं मिल रहा है कि नहीं है? विनोद चमोली को टिकट क्यों? जनता का जब पूरे उनके पक्ष में, तो विनोद चमोली जिंदाबाद जिंदाबाद।
There are at least 24 of 70 assembly seats where strong ticket contenders face disappointment. The situation in the Uttarakhand Congress is no different. Raging and fighting has put the party on the back foot. However, party leaders deny reports of a rift.
निश्चित रूप से देखिए, जो भी कमी रही होगी उसको पूरा करेंगे, उसमें दुरुस्त करेंगे। कमियां रही होगी तो सुधार किया जाएगा, लेकिन 10 के 10 जो लोग गए हैं वो अति महत्वाकांक्षी लोग हैं। उनमें से कांग्रेस पार्टी ने हर एक को बनाने का काम किया। भयंकर आरोप लगने के बाद भी, गंभीर आरोप लगने के बाद भी उनको मंत्री बनाने का काम किया, सीएलपी लीडर बनाने का काम किया। मात्र 2.5 साल के संसदीय अनुभव में बहुगुणा जी को चीफ मिनिस्टर बनाने का काम किया। यशपाल आर्य जी को कांग्रेस ने उत्तर प्रदेश में भी टिकट दिया।
The decision-making process isn't going to be a cakewalk for the BJP. According to sources, Congress rebels who've joined the BJP have an upper hand as far as tickets are concerned. While the party has reported in fighting, senior leaders also do not want to disappoint the existing leaders. Navikram's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, Chief Election Commissioner Naseem Zaidi and other senior members of the Election Commission visited Uttarakhand to review the poll preparations and the security arrangements ahead of the polls on 15th of February. Well, our correspondent Navikram Singh spoke exclusively to the Chief Election Commissioner. Let's take a listen.
उत्तराखंड में चुनाव की तैयारियों का जायजा लेने के लिए आए हुए हैं मुख्य चुनाव आयुक्त नसीम जैदी साहब। सर, यहाँ आप लोगों की मीटिंग हुई, 2 दिन मीटिंग चली, क्या यहाँ पर मुख्य चुनौतियां आपके सामने हैं?
देखिए, यहाँ पर जो हमने पूरे 2 दिन चर्चा करी उसमें मुख्यतः 3-4 चुनौतियां हैं। एक तो चुनौती जो सभी पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज और विभिन्न माध्यमों से हमें मालूम पड़ा, वो है यहाँ पे शराब का वितरण और उसका उपयोग, दुरुपयोग हमारी निर्वाचन प्रक्रिया में। और तो उसको रोकने के लिए हमने यहाँ पर राज्य प्रशासन को और अपने मशीनरी को कहा है कि वो आगामी 4-5 दिनों में उस मशीनरी को बहुत तेजी से काम कराएं और उसके अच्छे परिणाम प्राप्त करें। दूसरा यहाँ का जो मुख्य इशू उठाया गया है वो ये है कि मॉडल कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट का यहाँ पे कड़ाई से पालन किया जाए। खास तौर पर जो ये विज्ञापन होर्डिंग्स लग रहे हैं उसमें सभी लोगों को समान अवसर प्रदान हो, और इसके लिए हमने एक व्यवस्था बनाई है। सभी जिला मजिस्ट्रेटों और म्युनिसिपल अथॉरिटीज को निर्देश दिए हैं कि वे फर्स्ट कम फर्स्ट बेसिस पर और समान अवसर प्रदान करें सभी पार्टी और कैंडिडेट्स को।
यहाँ पर बहुत तेजी से अदला बदली हो रही है राजनीतिक दलों में, कांग्रेस के लोग बीजेपी में, और खासतौर पर एक अगर पॉलिटिकल पार्टी की बात करें कांग्रेस के काफी लोग चुनाव के वक्त बीजेपी में। आचार संहिता का क्या उल्लंघन नहीं है या इन पर कोई कार्रवाई कर सकता है?
जो निर्वाचित सदस्य हैं उनके बारे में एंटी डिफेक्शन एक्ट बना हुआ है। जो निर्वाचित नहीं है, जो एक पार्टी से दूसरी पार्टी में जा रहे हैं, वो आयोग के कार्यक्षेत्र से बाहर हैं।
शुक्रिया सर हमसे बात करने के लिए। तो आप देख सकते हैं कि मुख्य चुनाव आयोग का साफ कहना है कि उत्तराखंड पर्वतीय इलाका है और यहाँ पर शांतिपूर्ण और ज्यादा से ज्यादा मत प्रतिशत बढ़े, ये आयोग की कोशिश है। कैमरामैन संतोष यादव के साथ नवविक्रम सिंह, राज्यसभा टीवी, देहरादून।
More news from Uttarakhand. Well, the Congress has raised questions over the combined commanders conference being held in the poll-bound state on 21st of January. Now, the party has accused the Prime Minister of taking undue political advantage by using the armed forces, while Chief Minister Harish Rawat alleged that the Prime Minister was attempting to breach the Election Commission's directive against using meetings of officials for political gains. Well, Rawat also wondered why the commanders conference of 2016 was being held now, and that too in a poll-bound state which honors soldiers. He also said that such a meeting should be held in places like Pathankot or Uri or in Jammu and Kashmir or any other operational area. Well, Rawat also alleged that the meeting was being held in the state to divert the attention of ex-servicemen in the state from OROP. And right now we'll take a very short break. We'll be back with more news from the election-bound states. Stay with us.
The Sun Temple in Konark, Odisha, also called the Black Pagoda, testament to the architectural brilliance and glory of the Ganga dynasty. This 13th century masterpiece was conceived as a gigantic solar chariot. 12 pairs of exquisitely ornamented wheels, one for each month of the year, drawn by 7 rearing horses, one for each day of the week. The temple comprises a sanctum with a lofty shikara, a jagmohana and a detached Natya Mandira in the same axis, besides numerous subsidiary shrines.
Well, shifting focus to Goa now, and the full bench of the Election Commission led by Chief Election Commissioner Aseem Zaidi will be on a 3-day visit to poll-bound Goa from today to the 22nd of this month. Well, the team of ECI officials will be reviewing poll preparedness and also hold a series of meetings with election officers, State Chief Secretary, State Finance Secretary and Director General of Police. Well, Zaidi will also interact with the representatives of various political parties including the BJP, Congress, NCP and the Maharashtra-Wadi Gomantak Party, which are recognized political parties. Now, polling in the coastal state would be held on 4th of February for 40 assembly seats. Now, correspondent Ravindra Singh Shoran spoke to the Chief Minister of Goa, Lakshmikant Parsekar. Now, he says that he is confident of a BJP returning to power. The Chief Minister also attacked the Aam Aadmi Party and said that the party would not open its account in the state.
गोवा में चुनाव प्रचार जोर शोर से चल रहा है और वेस्ट शेड्यूल से समय निकालकर हमसे बात करने के लिए इस वक्त हमारे साथ हैं गोवा के मुख्यमंत्री लक्ष्मीकांत पारेशकर जी। सर, आपका स्वागत है राज्यसभा टीवी पर। सर किस तरह का रिस्पांस आपको मिल रहा है? आप 2 साल तक लगातार मुख्यमंत्री हैं, उसके बाद जब अपने कार्यकर्ताओं के बीच जा रहे हैं।
मुझे लगता है पिछले समय जब 2012 में गोवा की जनता ने पूरी विचारपूर्वक पहली बार बीजेपी को स्पष्ट बहुमत दिया, I feel I should acknowledge people of Goa with thanks. भारतीय जनता पार्टी सरकार ने अपने विविध कार्यक्रमों द्वारा, अपने विविध योजनाओं द्वारा समाज के अंतिम स्तर पर जो लोग हैं उनको हमने बहुत मदद करने का सफल प्रयास किया।
हर चीज के लिए सर जमीन मिल रही है, लेकिन कसीनो को बनाने के लिए जमीन नहीं मिल पा रही है। उनको शिफ्ट करने के लिए मांडवी से, ये भी एक वादा हुआ था कि मांडवी से उसको कसीनोज को बाहर निकालेंगे।
We have discouraged casinos, I understand. It was in 2008 and 9.
कांग्रेस सरकार,
जब कांग्रेस सरकार थी यहाँ, कैसीनोज उनकी देन है। And as opposition party, we had forcibly opposed it. We cannot abruptly discontinue and throw them. It will be economical problem, and unemployment problem will be further elevated. And third important thing, the government then had granted them permission.
दोहरी नागरिकता के संबंध में भी मामला चल रहा है कि पुर्तगाल की नागरिकता रहे, यहाँ की रहे, उसके बारे में क्या कहें?
जो कोर्ट के सामने मामला है उसके ऊपर मैं बोलना नहीं चाहता, फिर भी मुझे लगता है आई एम सिंपैथेटिक टू दोज हु गेट द पासपोर्ट एंड गो आउट. आई फील सॉरी, many of them move out to get jobs. As government, I feel I should be in a position to create an atmosphere, and just not an atmosphere, to create more jobs for all strata of the society, by which person will not be forced to go out.
स्पेशल स्टेटस की मांग उठा रही है आम आदमी पार्टी इस बार, आप लोगों को क्या कहना है इसमें?
I feel these are the issues which certain people raise to garner public support.
आम आदमी पार्टी से कोई खतरा लग रहा है सर? नई पार्टी?
Look, आम आदमी पार्टी नई है. जब दिल्ली में नई थी तब दिल्ली वालों ने सिर पर रखी, लेकिन दिल्ली में जो कुछ हो रहा है उसके कारण गोवा वाले इस पार्टी को स्वीकार नहीं करेंगे. आम आदमी पार्टी इज नॉट गोइंग टू ओपन देयर अकाउंट इन गोवा असेंबली एटलीस्ट इन दिस 2017 इलेक्शंस.
थैंक यू सर. राज्यसभा टीवी से बात करने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद.
थैंक यू.
All right, my colleague Ravindra Sharan is now joining us on the phone line. Ravindra, we just saw you speaking to the Chief Minister Parsekar there. Now, he is confident of getting the majority, but actually the BJP has reasons to be skeptical about its prospect. Now, RSS has decided to withdraw its patronage. Plus, we have MGP, GCM and the Shiv Sena forming an alliance. So really a tough challenge for the BJP ahead?
Yeah, good afternoon, Aishwarya. As we spoke to the Chief Minister, he is quite confident that he will be able to come back and will be able to bring the party back in the government. But as we spoke to many other people, especially when after the formation of the Goa Suraksha Manch, which is headed by the former Sandachalak of the Goa RSS, Subhash Wellinkar, there are the problem BJP is now facing that the cadre has basically been divided, because the cadre which is supporting the BJP, most of them are from the RSS background, and now after the GSM has formed a political front, then there is a division clearly vertically visible on the ground as well.
All right.
The other thing which I would like to mention here is that the BJP is mostly banking upon the development agenda, which they are claiming that they have put a lot of new infrastructure development projects here in the Goa. But the counter allegation which has been leveled by the Congress party and especially the Aam Aadmi party. They are saying that the corruption is the most important factor that the people of Goa should this time taking into consideration before casting their vote, because the BJP, the main allegation against the BJP is of the corruption.
Yes.
And also the Goa airport with the the new proposed Goa airport in Mopa. The people here who has been given the promise of rehabilitation, they are still not given proper compensation for the land which has been acquired here. And also they are still saying that we have not been given any land to rehabilitate or to restart the life afresh. So these are some of the issues. Also, the Congress party is clearly saying that the BJP has taken many of the U-turns since it came into the power in 2012, especially on the casinos point of view. They are saying that it was only 2 casinos when the Congress party was in the government, but after the present dispensation took place in 2012,
yes,
then more than 1.5 dozen of the casinos are operating, and the casinos are not in concurrence with the culture of Goa, and this is the problem that they should be disbanded immediately. Also the medium of instruction is also one of the issue where the Goa Suraksha Manch and Shiv Sena are saying that the grants which are being given to the English convent schools from first class to the 4th class, that should be immediately discontinued. And this is the promise which was given to the people by the Manohar Parrikar government in 2012. But it was never been kept, and now the people are demanding that the government should discontinue this grant, because this is the only state in the whole country where the English, where the foreign language has been given grant for the promotion of...
So actually the euphoria with the ruling BJP seems to have died out, but the Congress really has not been able to put up a very credible opposition. And however, we have other parties like the Aam Aadmi party also throwing their hat in the ring. So it is going to be a very interesting contest in Goa. Thank you so much, Ravindra, for all those details there. Meanwhile, eyeing an opening in Goa, now AAP has come up with a string of promises to the voters, now addressing election rallies in Mapusa and Sanquillim in North Goa, where convener Arvind Kejriwal promised jobs to at least 50,000 youth and an unemployment allowance in case they fail to get jobs. Well, Kejriwal also claimed that his party will secure no less than 28 to 32 seats. Aam Aadmi Party convener Arvind Kejriwal spearheading his party's campaign in Goa. Addressing an election rally in Mapusa town in North Goa, Kejriwal slammed his party's 3 rivals in the state, accusing the Congress, BJP and the Maharashtravadi Gomantak party of corruption. He alleged that all 3 had collectively harmed the interests of the state.
पारसेकर, पारिकर, धौलीकर, इन सब लोगों ने मिलकर लूट लिया गोवा को। कांग्रेस ने, बीजेपी ने, धौलीकर ने, इन सब लोगों ने मिलकर लूट लिया गोवा को। गोवा में भी पाप का घड़ा भर चुका है। अब गोवा के अंदर भी चमत्कार होने वाला है।
Also on the hit list were the pre-election opinion polls conducted by some channels. All of them have ruled out any chances of the Aam Aadmi Party making any impact in the state. Rejecting the predictions, Arvind Kejriwal claimed his party will win between 28 to 32 seats in the 40-member assembly.
एक एक्सपेरिमेंट आप कीजिएगा। जब आप यहां से जाएं, पहले 10 आदमी जो मिले आपको, उनसे पूछना इस बार किसको वोट दे रहे हो। 10 में से कम 7 आदमी आपको कहेंगे कि एक नई ईमानदार पार्टी आई है, इस बार झाड़ू के ऊपर वोटिंग लगा है। तो आप समझ जाइए कि 28 से 32 सीट के बीच में आने वाली है गोवा के अंदर।
Defending his party's chief ministerial candidate Elvis Gomes, a former bureaucrat, Kejriwal brushed off all allegations against him. Gomes is a former IG prisons. He's facing an anti-corruption bureau probe into an alleged housing scam. Alleging that he was falsely targeted, Elvis Gomes claimed that AAP will sweep all 7 seats in the Mapusa region.
आणि 7 आमचे उमेदवार जे हांगा बसले आज बाळदेसांतले ते 7 उमेदवार जिखून आयले हे खात्रेन हांव सांगता आणि एक वॉशआउट जावन आम आदमी पार्टी बाळदेसान एस्टॅब्लिश जाता.
Kejriwal also addressed another rally in Sanquillim town. Both rallies saw the Aam Aadmi Party convener making a string of promises. although he did not quite explain how the state will improve revenues. The poll promises included resumption of mining in the state, preservation of 80% jobs for Goans in new ventures, raising old age pension from 2,000 rupees to 3,000 rupees, and unemployment doles. With camera person Prashanto, this is Sanjay Kumar's report for Rajya Sabha TV. And now on to a special report from Manipur, where one of the major issues for voters would be the state government's move to create 7 new districts. Now, most affected are the hill areas, which are dominated by the Naga and Kuki tribes. Now, while the Nagas are protesting in the form of an economic blockade which has paralyzed the state, a section of the Kukis are now looking at its traditional rivals to take on the incumbent Congress government. Akhilesh Suman has this special report from Manipur. Traditional rivals, the Nagas and Kukis in Manipur, rarely ever end up on the same side politically. But these days, the Indigenous Kuki People's Forum, or IKPF, is publicly backing the stand taken by the United Naga Council to impose an economic blockade in the state, which has crossed over 2.5 months. IKPF leaders say the Ibobi Singh government's decision to create new districts was ill-timed and it should have consulted all tribes, including the Nagas.
Since it was a sensitive issue, government should have put on board, have a longer discussion and have a dialogue, and they should have been much more transparency, then this issue would have been resolved at the earliest. So it was necessity that they should have consulted them.
There are 10 Kuki MLAs in the assembly, while one of the 2 MPs from the state is a Kuki. But the sudden announcement of creating new districts came as a surprise, which the group sees as an attempt by the Ibobi Singh government to polarize votes to avoid an anti-incumbency backlash.
Giving 7 districts was good move by this incumbent government. They should have done 5 years, 6 years earlier than what it's supposed to be have done just around the corner of elections. So perhaps in the round corner of election, they have declared these 7 districts. So probably they would like to take some political mileage also.
The Kukis have traditionally been the swing vote, hence their support towards the Nagas is being seen as a strategic move. In addition to being caught in the conflict between the Nagas and the Métis, they have been unhappy about the state of development in their villages. While they have derived some benefit from the National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, the state government has not managed to take it forward. Roads are in a bad shape and water supply in the hilly areas is an acute problem.
Water problem is here and road problem is also there here because there is no black topping. In the rainy season there is many muddies are here.
Although Kukis form almost 11% of the population, they don't have any particular political outfit. At present, their leaders are present in all major parties. Akhilesh Suman's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Kukis are generally close to Congress, but some of them are feeling that after creation of 7 new districts, the peace of the state may be hampered. And since BJP has come in the fray with full force, a new type of polarization may take place. It will be interesting to see that how Kukis respond in the election. Akhilesh Suman for Rajya Sabha Television with camera person Sutansu in Tweeching Village.
Well, that's all in this edition of Verdict 2017. Don't forget to tune in today at 6:30 p.m. for the evening election bulletin. Thanks for watching.